Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to one more session of Medley Toastmasters Club's weekly meeting. I am Guru Prasad, standing in Sergeant Arms for today's meeting. The mission of Toastmasters is to provide a supportive environment for members to grow in their communication and leadership skills. And this is a close to century-old organization, helping members grow in their life using these skills. Before getting into the meeting, I request you to follow a couple of ground rules to make this meeting experience more effective. One, please check your mobile and bring it down to either silent mode or, if possible, switched off so that the music doesn't disturb others. Second, please refrain from talking about sex, religion, or politics during your performance on the stage. Third one, please don't move around while a performance is happening on the dais so that you don't distract neither this performer or the audience. With these few words, I'm very glad to invite the presiding officer today, none other than the president of Medley Toastmasters Club, Toastmasters Sarama.
Thank you, DTM Guru Prasad. Ever ready, Guru Prasad. Good afternoon. How are you all doing? Excellent. Thank you. And with the sound of this gavel, I declare meeting number 709. Let us all pray to the God. So let us all pray to the God that the meeting recording goes on properly. To have a proper and happy Monday. Now, I would like to welcome the dignitaries who have joined today's meeting, DTM Guru Prasad, DTM Thomas Abraham. Thank you for joining. And I can see one guest who has joined us. Can you come here and introduce yourself to the team? Yeah. And let us know your expectation. I know you have come for the 4th time, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, so my expectations over here.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, hi. So my name is Suresh. I'm currently a student in MIT. I'm doing my mechanical engineering. My dad introduced me to this place. So my expectations about this, this is of Toastmasters. I've never been to Toastmasters before. So this is the first experience of Toastmasters. And yeah, so when I came here, I was expecting to improve my vocabulary and speaking skills, because before this, I've never given more of speaking in my schools or college. Okay, I've given some mini ones. But I wanted to improve this because so that in the future, I might get a chance. If I get a chance to speak in a larger audience, I won't hesitate to do that. So, yeah.
In spite of Mandos, thank you for joining here. You know what Mandos means? Yeah. But what is the true meaning? Treasure box. Excellent. Treasure box in Arabic. So, like how you mentioned, Toastmasters is also like a treasure box. You take vocabulary skills, networking skills, project management skills, everything is available in Toastmasters, and you have come to the right forum. Now, let us see what are the things that happened the last week. Last week, I got an interesting article from Toastmasters International about an AI-based evaluation. That is a tool called as Udly tool, which is integrated with Toastmasters. That means, in case if you want to give any speech, you can just go there and record yourself. And that provides an AI-based evaluation. I did that today morning before coming here and talking about that. It was excellent. I would say I just gave a 10-minute speech to see whether I'm able to get some right kind of report from Udly. It gave what are the pauses I have used and what are the remarks I have mentioned, and then what went right, what went wrong. All these things are properly coming out from that tool. So I would encourage every one of you to make use of that Udly tool so that before coming here, you will have a sounding board to ensure you have done your rehearsals, everything correctly before coming here and talking in front of the audience. So not only for that, like for guests also it will be useful. So you can make use of Udly tool, which is available in TMI site. And last week, there was so much of spree of education awards. I saw 2 education awards presented by DTM Thomas Abraham. I know you have completed long back, but you have submitted now level 4 and level 5. That means you are also in line for the Triple Crown Award. Well done. Then Dr. Sandhya, thanks for submitting the award, and you have completed your level 1 as well. And Prasanna Vani, thanks for completing your level 2 and submitting. That is more important, so that we will be in a position to approve your projects and then approve your education awards as well. And that counts for DCP awards, Golden Gavel awards, everything. Because when you complete on time and when we submit the awards on time, that will reflect in TMI site. And that will be the one that will be taken up for DCP dashboard. And one more important thing I would like to say in front of you, that we have achieved 9 points, DCP points. That means we have already in the presidential award as well, presidential award. And there is one more point that will be obtained, but that will be done once the OTP is confirmed. So that will be more likely next week or so. So once it is completed, we will be getting the 10 out of 10 for the 14th or 15th continuous year. You know, Medley is what? Our second family. Right? Whether it is first family or second family, when there are new members joining, that will be a good thing to celebrate. And we have few members who have joined us, Toastmaster Nishana, Toastmaster Wilson, who have joined us recently. Thank you for joining. And I would like to welcome our BPM Toastmaster Session to induct them into Toastmasters International. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmasters.
New members bring a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and I'm happy to induct 4 new members into our club formally. It's a pleasure to welcome and induct Toastmaster Sandhya. Please come. Toastmaster Suhail. Toastmaster Nishana. And Toastmaster Wilson. Membership in Medley Toastmasters Club and Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards. Yet, it also places certain responsibilities and obligations upon you. We are a group of people brought together to do things we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in the spirit of enjoyment. We ask you, our new members, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth and to help this Toastmasters Club being strong and dynamic. New members, please listen carefully as I read out the Toastmasters member promise. In the presence of the Medley members here, I promise to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment, to apply myself to the program outlined in the Toastmasters manuals, to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive and constructive manner, to build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters. Will you promise to stand by these obligations? You can say, I promise. Now I request all Medley Toastmasters to please raise your hands. As Medley Toastmasters, we pledge to support our new members in their quest for self-development, to provide them with positive and helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly and supportive atmosphere, and to make their Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Thank you, fellow members. New members, you will be presented with the welcome ribbons when we receive it. Welcome to the club.
Thank you, Toastmasters Registration. I would like the new members to make one more promise as well. That is to use Easy Speak. You got it. Use Easy Speak as and when you need, because that is one of the tools which we use normally for booking the roles and everything. And that will provide a transparent platform for everybody so that you can make use of that. Now, to take the meeting forward.
We spoke about the tool, right?
Yeah, you would leave.
How do you use it? Like, how do you record and then post it?
Yeah, so what you have to do here is you have to just click on the link. I have sent the link in the group, and then you have to log in using your Toastmasters International login ID and password. And once you do that, there will be a screen that will be coming up, and you have to record your speech, or you can upload a already developed speech. So then you will be able to get all those artificial intelligence based evaluation. So that's a good one. Now, to take the meeting forward, we have a person called as Toastmaster of the Day, who adheres to the agenda, ensures that the meeting starts and ends on time, and keeps the meeting proceedings without any flaw as such. And today, I'm very sure the meeting will be a radiant one, because we have a head and professor of radiology as well as oral medicine, Dr. Toastmaster Pravda, who will be heading this and leading this Toastmaster of the Day. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Pravda. I want to make one more promise as well, apart from the new members' promise, that is not to close your eyes when the photos are taken.
Thank you, presiding officer. Long back in Scotland, a farmer happened to save a boy who was drowning in a river. The boy's father was very rich. The next day, the boy's father came to the farmer and said, "You deserve a reward because you saved my son." But the farmer denied a reward and said that he just did his duty. But as a token of gratitude, the rich man offered to graduate the farmer's son. And the farmer's son later became Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of the first antibiotic, penicillin. After several years, the rich man's son also grew up, and he was infected by a deadly pneumonia. And this antibiotic, penicillin, saved his life. He is none other than Sir Winston Churchill. So, if I tell you that you serve the universe, and the universe will serve you, you will remember it for today, probably tomorrow. But when I put the same phrase in the form of a story, it will stay with you for a longer period of time. That is the power of the story. And especially when you wanted to understand life, because it engages and influences us. Let's know about this in today's meeting. For the benefit of the newcomer and the guest, I would like to explain the pattern of a Toastmaster meeting. The Toastmaster meeting is conducted in 3 important sections. The first one is a prepared speech, where the member will deliver the speech according to their project and the pathways that they have chosen. The second is an impromptu speaking session, which is called as the table topic round, where the members will have to think and speak on their feet. And even the guests are allowed to participate in this. And the third round is the evaluation session, where the certain members will evaluate and give constructive feedback on the prepared speeches, as well as the overall meeting proceedings. Today, to review and assess today's meeting, we have a person who is professionally an anesthesiologist. For Medley, she is a sincere and dedicated club secretary. Why do I use these adjectives? Once, when she went on leave, she told me to write down the minutes of the meeting, and the meeting did not have any recording. So I thought that I will only write the minutes of that meeting. And using the previous week's template, I drafted the entire minutes of the meeting. You will not believe, it took 2.5 hours for me to do it. That's why I tell 2.5 hours to finish that. That's why I tell she's very sincere, because every week, in spite of whatever role she plays in that meeting, she note down all the minutes and try to draft the minutes of the meeting and mail it at the earliest for the benefit of those who are not there. Please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Prasanavani, the general evaluator. Toastmaster Prasanavani, please introduce your role and your team.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. In Jamaica, there was this young boy who was extremely passionate about playing cricket. And he grew up dreaming of becoming a fast bowler like Waka Yunus. His coach saw him on a cricket pitch and said one day to stop playing cricket and go into track sports. The rest is history. He went on to become the fastest man alive on earth, Usain Bolt. And what made Bolt to fame is the evaluation he received. That is the power of evaluation. Evaluation facilitates members to script their success story from strength to strength. In Toastmasters, we have a team of evaluators who do that. As a general evaluator, I will evaluate everything that happens in the meeting today, the positives and the points for improvement. I will note for points of examples of good preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of the meeting. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. I have a team of tag players and a team of speech evaluators. The tag stands for timer, counter, and grammarian. The tag players ensure that the speakers complete their speeches in time, have good clarity of speech, and have the best language usage. I will now call upon each of them to introduce their role. The timer for today is Toastmaster Nishana, a new member, a HR professional, and a co-founder of Working Lane. I asked her what is the story which inspired her, and she said, it is a story of Nelson Mandela, the way he gained inspiration during his imprisonment, which was depicted in the movie Invictus. I call upon Toastmaster Nishana to introduce the timer rule.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations today. I'll also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and the red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to not more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll raise the green card. At 1.5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 2 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And for the prepared speeches, it should be within 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 7 minutes, I'll raise the red card. The individual evaluations should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 2.5 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And today, the overall timing is going to be applicable for all the other role holders as well, starting from the president. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nishana. For the counter role, we have a new member, Toastmaster Wilson. Toastmaster Wilson is a banking professional hailing from the God's own country. When asked what was his most memorable story, he narrated his own personal story. When, as a 10th standard boy, he stayed awake till midnight to watch his favorite team, Brazil, play the finals against, sorry, I forgot the team, to play the finals and win the World Cup in 1994. Today morning, he was heartbroken to see Brazil lose the match against Argentina. I call upon Toastmaster Wilson to explain the counter rule.
Greetings, Toastmasters and guests. So, being the R-counter, the purpose of the R-counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or as a pause filler by anyone who speaks here. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen to filler sounds like and I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I, or this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker uses these expressions. So, thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wilson. I next call upon the grammarian for today, Toastmaster Anuradha. Toastmaster Anuradha is a passionate photographer and a professor of physiology at Satyabama Dental College. When asked what was her most memorable story, she narrated the story of how a father took his son, who was living in a city, to the rural area to make sure that he realized how fortunate he is. But the son went on to realize that the village people are in fact more wealthy in terms of peace of mind and other resources which they have. And this story has left an indelible impact on her. I call upon Toastmaster Anuradha to brief on the grammarian role.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take note on any misuse of English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it's my duty to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day I like to introduce today is adore. Adore means to be very fond of. The word of the day is adore. The meaning is to be very fond of. Example, we adore meeting in person rather than in Zoom. I adore reading detective novels. These are the examples. I request all the members to use the word of the day. I'll give my grammarian report at the end of the meeting when the GE calls for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuradha. I adore the way all the tag players explain their rules in the meeting today. I will next introduce the evaluators at the later section of the meeting. I hand over the podium to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anuradha.
Thank you, Dee. One day, my daughter came from school, and she was very sad. To tell you exactly, it was a mixture of grief and anger. When I asked her, she told me that her classmate abused her for what she didn't do. I do not know the exact story. I could not ask her the exact story, but I tried to persuade her with the parable of Lord Buddha. Let's listen to that after the first part of the meeting, the prepared speech. Today, we have two eminent speakers. The first speaker is professionally a dentist. For Medley, she was the star of November month. And I always admire the novelty and the perfection she carries in whatever role she plays in Medley Meeting. Yes, she's Toastmaster Sandhya Arun Kumar, who is attempting level 2 project 1 in her dynamic leadership pathway. To evaluate her speech, let me welcome Toastmaster Dinakaran. Please read out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Sandhya.
Thank you, DMD. Toastmaster Sandhya is giving the speech from the Pathways Dynamic Leadership Level 2 Project 1, Understanding the Leadership Style project. The purpose of the project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. The duration of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to TMD. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinakaran. Toastmaster Sandhya, 5SQ, Toastmaster Sandhya.
As a pathologist, I adore reading research articles.
I came across a research article and I thought I would share it with you. There was a research where they collected the data of 500 successful people on this planet Earth across all fields. Industrialists like Henry Ford, artists like Picasso, social reformers like Mahatma Gandhi. Across all fields, a research was done. The objective of the research was to find some common qualities among these successful people. The outcome of the research, they found 5 success qualities of the 500 successful people. The 5 SQ. Good evening and greetings, my dear Toastmasters, guests and DTMs. The 5 SQ. The first success quality, untiring passion. All 500 successful people displayed untiring passion in whatever they were involved in. Passion for excellence, passion to stand out of the crowd, passion to become a numero uno, untiring passion. They believed passion and tiredness do not go hand in hand. In fact, man is designed not to become tired. If he is tired, because he is indulging in activities which he is not passionate with. Untiring passion, the SQ1. The second successful quality, mastery in communication. These people, successful people, believed, doesn't matter whatever idea I have, it has to get translated to the external world. Life is all about not what I think, but what I express to the outside world, what I think. Life is not about what I feel, but what I express to the outside world, what I feel. They became the master communicators. In fact, every revolution in the world is because of a master communicator. So the second successful quality, SQ2, was mastery in communication. Going to the third successful quality, enthusiasm. They displayed enthusiasm in anything, everything they did. Entheos in Greek means to be in touch with God. The Greek believed it's okay if you don't pray, it's okay if you don't follow rituals, at least you live your life enthusiastically so that the divine energy flows through you. Enthusiasm, SQ3. Coming to the fourth successful quality, methodology. These successful people, they not only know what to achieve, but they also knew how to achieve. They had an aspiration, they learned from the world around, and also they followed a methodology. Non-violence, methodology of Mahatma Gandhi. Oratory skills, methodology of Swami Vivekananda. Design engineering, methodology of Steve Jobs. They found a methodology. They never said, somehow I want to get it done. But they always said, I know how to get it done. No somehow, only how. Methodology, SQ4. The last, fifth successful quality, anchored to faith. All successful people, 500 in the world, were anchored to a form of faith. It could be their cause, it could be their purpose, it could be some process, it could be an energy, it could be God. They all believed in one strong thing. Dance is greater than the dancer. Music is greater than the musician. Wisdom is greater than the teacher, and a force beyond is greater than everything in the world. They believed in a force beyond, they anchored to their faith, they never deviated from it. The fifth successful quality, anchored to faith. These leaders with these 5 successful qualities: untiring passion, mastering communication, enthusiasm, methodology, anchored faith, they were called transformational leaders, and their leadership style is called transformational leadership style. And the research article ended, period. In my 12 years journey as a teacher, I served as a passionate teacher, filling the room with enthusiasm, storytelling being my methodology, always striving to become a master communicator, anchoring to faith and surrendering to faith forever. The 5 success qualities were sown as seeds before 12 years within me. I am in the journey of nurturing these seeds. I am in the journey of evolving into a transformational leader. I find transformational leadership is my kind of leadership to ignite the minds, inspire the lives. What is your success quality within you? Ask it and find out your leadership style. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters India. The next speaker is an oil and gas professional working as a senior subject matter expert in global ESG companies. In Medley, he is the hat-trick winner of this year's humorous speech contest. I adore him for his level of energy and involvement in every meeting. Right from the day on a rainy day, when the meeting got over early, half an hour early, he instantly gave this educational session on the proceedings of Toastmasters. Last week, he made the table topic round as an workshop for the benefit of the newcomers, and today as an instant SAE of today's meeting. Let's welcome DTM Guru Prasad, who is attempting Level 2 Project 2 in his dynamic leadership pathway. Before that, I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Venkataseshan, to read out his speech objectives.
DTM Guru Prasad, who adores to make each Medleyan experience, enjoy every meeting wherever, whatever role he does, will be delivering his speech on dynamic leadership, level 2, project 2, understanding your communication style. The purpose of the project is for the member to understand different communication styles, understand his own style, and deliver a speech of his style and how it impacts others. The timing of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, DTM Guru Prasad. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Toastmaster DTM Guru Prasad, Kantara, DTM Guru Prasad.
When I do this, what do you remember? Sorry? Basha, and what next? You said. But I never said any of this. I just did this. Doing just this made you realize a movie called Basha and a character who did this and a message he communicated saying, if I say it once, it is like saying it for 100 times. The implied meaning is, I stand by whatever I say. He communicates that message with a style. For me, dear friends, this is communication style. Dear Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Communication is a mystery. The world of communication is a mystic forest. Kantara. I'm not here to sing a song like Jaganan Varaharupam, but for me, Communication is always a mystery. How much ever you are trained, how much you are read, how much ever you have practiced. Because there are various elements that impact your communication as well as style. Let us see what they are. I have coined an acronym called PPP. People, premise, and purpose. When you deliver a communication in whatever form it is, you need people, meaning you are delivering it to a set of people. Or even beyond people, you may be even delivering it to a machine. You may be surprised how you can communicate with a machine. When you drive a car, you know you are communicating with the car. So the people are of three types. Again, another acronym, RAG, red, amber, and green. Green people are like always ready to run. The engine is already switched on. Their foot is on the accelerator, ready to press and go. But they need to be told what to do. Just take your car, go there, deliver this, go over there, give it to him, go there, give it to him, and come back. They are ready, they are fired up, but they don't know what to do. We call them as people full of energy, but without proper drivers of that energy. They are the G, the green ones. Most probably you will see the kids or adolescents in this group. They are not matured enough to follow the protocols of what they do or communication style, etc. But they are ready to go, run, do everything. You have to adapt a particular communication style for the G type of people. Ambers are the ones, they just wait, relax, listen, understand what you're saying. They plan, they want to visualize, they will schedule something, do it step by step. For them, you need to adapt a different style of giving them what they want explicitly. The first ones don't need them. You just give them exact directions. They are like machines. You told them go straight 100 meters, take a left, take another 100 meters, that's it. These people, you tell them what is the plan, how they will execute, they will execute. Sorry, they will go and execute. The third ones are reds, R's, green people. They just want to know what happened. Most probably they are bosses. They don't care how you did it. They don't care what took you so long. I mean, they care what took you so long, but they don't care what resources you acquired, how much struggle you went through. Is it done? It's over. I'm ready to go to the next step. This is the only information they need. Accordingly, you need to change your style of communicating to these three people. This forms the P part. First P, which is people. Second is premise. And what sort of an environment you're doing it is the one-on-one communication with the person. You can go a bit more detailed. You can give directions, him or her directions, and tell them how to reciprocate the communication, how you listen, how the next week get done, etc. It could be very focused, very detailed. Second is in a team meeting. Unfortunately, today's club meeting has become a team meeting thanks to Mondos. Of course, we have better numbers now. There, you set guidelines. You set them, give them compartmentalized information. You can give them directions. They'll go and do it. The third one is audience, a big audience. You are facing hundreds, district conference, or you're a political leader talking to 1,000-member audience. There you give them just direction, the objective. Premise. Third one is purpose. Why are you communicating this? What do you want to achieve? There could be three kinds of purposes. Information or just keep them happy, entertain them. Second is demand. You have a need from them, you demand it from them. Third one is inspiration and motivation. According to these three, your communication style would vary. Of course, your Toastmasters portal tells you about 4 kinds of communications. You can always go read them, understand. But once you understand, you need to realize that these are the 3 P's in which you have to apply all those different varieties of communication style in a permutation and combination. However, you have your own personal style. I was grown up as a kid in a situation where I demanded attention. I thought I was never listened to. So I used to shout, I used to be argumentative. Slowly, after looking at people, my leaders, my bosses, my friends, everyone, I understood that's not required. When there is an opportunity, people are ready to listen to you. Accordingly, I converted my style. But however, I could not change my basic nature of argumentative or decibels. But when I applied them into these compartments and delivered my communication, I was called as a person full of energy, not a person who shouts. This is where the transformation happened, understanding the communication style, but still remaining in my own nature. I used my nature across these styles, across those 3x9 matrix, and got whatever I wanted and achieved all the successes. So my message to you at the end is, realize this PPP, understand the subclass of all the P's, then you decide which kind of communication style you want to apply. Predominantly, I belong to the supportive and initiating type of communicator because that's how my situation, my environment lies. I've been successful so far. I'll change it whenever it needed. So I hope you got this message. Realize this, apply, achieve success. Over to you.
Thank you, DTM Guru Prasad. Once Buddha went with his disciple to beg. At a house, a lady spoke harshly on them. She said, "You silly fellows, why do you want to beg? You look hale and healthy. Why don't you work for your food?" Buddha simply moved away from there. But his disciple was very much offended by the hostile words spoken on his greatest guru. He told Buddha, "Guruji, please permit me to make her to teach her a lesson." But Buddha simply smiled, gave his water container to him, and went to take rest. After 2 hours, he asked his disciple, he pointed out the water container and asked, "Whose is this?" The disciple said, "It's yours, Guruji." Buddha told, I gifted it to you 2 hours back. Now it is not mine, it is yours." And their journey continued. At night, Buddha again asked the same question to his disciple. "Whose is this?" pointing out the water container. The disciple said, "It's mine." Buddha laughed and asked, "How can the same water container belong to both of us? Earlier you told me that it belongs to me, now it is yours." The disciple was confused and he said, "Since you gifted it to me, I accepted it and I told you that it belongs to me. Earlier, I didn't take it as mine, I thought it is yours, so I told you it is yours." Buddha smiled and said, "The word spoken by the lady, I did not accept it, so it still belongs to her." So there is no need to teach her any lesson. Whether this story convinced my daughter or not, I don't know, but she was calm. Telling stories is the best way to teach, persuade, and understand one another. We remember and make connections more easily when informations or experience are pinned in stories. They increase our understanding and empathy. Generally, when I make decisions either at my home or in my department, I take into consideration all the factors and I feel that I have done the best decision. But when people speak against my decision, I generally get hurt. I know it is my ego that did not allow me to accept what others say. To overcome this, I generally recollect an incident in the life of Tagore. Please wait to listen to that. And let's move on to the next interesting session, the table topic round. To conduct this table topic round, today we have a storyteller, very calm and composed person. I admire her simplicity, the simple and the interesting way she carries out any role she plays. Please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Renu, the table topic master of the day.
Very good evening to all of you fellow Toastmasters and our guests. I'm actually an impromptu table topics master. So it was pretty much impromptu for me to take this role this morning. I didn't have too much time to prepare topics, but I have a few in my mind. And I need to, okay, this guest has been with us several times, but let me go through what I have to tell you. As table topics master, I will be giving you topics. Now, what is table topics? It's a chance to come to the stage and speak impromptu. Impromptu is speaking on the spot, thinking on your feet. So that is what I will be doing. It's an excellent opportunity to come here and explore your skills of speaking. Now we have all experienced people here. I think even our guest Suresh has had opportunities. I don't think anybody is going to be feeling nervous about table topics this year. And please note, like all of you know, table topics, the time is 1 to 2 minutes. It can go up to 2.5 minutes. The timer sitting right there, she will show the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and the red card at 2 minutes. You can go on till for another 30 seconds. So this is how the table topics are going to happen. Now I shall call Toastmaster Ranga first. Let's see the topic. Okay, your topic is your favorite story from childhood. Your favorite story from childhood, Toastmaster Ranga.
Good afternoon, everyone. The reason I'm looking at my feet is I'm trying to think on my feet. My favorite story goes like this. I mean, it's a reality. My father was. Let me begin again. My father was posted to Trichy when he was working for Southern Railways. So I was a child of about 6 years old and I was mad after trains. I expressed my willingness to go to the station every time he goes to work. So one day he surprised me. He said, just come along with me. So he took me to this humongous steam engine. And he was speaking something to the driver. And suddenly, the next moment, both of us were inside the engine. It was like a dream come true for me. And I could see the man just shoveling the coal inside the fire pit. And I was looking at all the levers and the odometers, and it was just fascinating for me. And the moment I remember most was when the driver pulled the horn. I literally jumped out of my skin and fell into my father's arms. So that was probably for me the most interesting experience of my childhood.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ranga. That was a very interesting story. Thank you, a personal story. Okay, so who's excited and wants to volunteer for the next one? You, yes, please come, Toastmaster Rajesh. Toastmaster Rajesh, spin a story around the word of the day today. Adore.
Difficult one. Adore, first time I heard about Adore was when I joined my CA course. So they used to say, I adore my profession, I respect my institute, and I am proud to be a chartered accountant. So that is the word I first time heard about adore. So it is the next it came here. Yeah, really I adore my profession when it comes to my profession as an auditor. But in addition to that, once I'm exposed to other professions, talking to many people, and communicating with other, groups of people. Then I come to know it is not about only adoring one own profession. It is also about adoring everybody's profession and learning from others. So it is not only about thinking what I learned is enough, but also learning from others, as it is a continuous process. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so next, any other volunteer? Shall I just call somebody? Yes, please come. Toastmasters, okay. Why do we need to think really hard before we reply to somebody? Why do we really need to think hard before we reply to somebody?
Thank you so much for the topic. So I want to quote as example from my own life experience. What happened is quite a funny incident where when I started my career, along with me, one more professional joined with me. So there were some questions or queries which the professional was raising to my senior. I think that the question was repeatedly raised by my fellow colleague, and my senior answered in a calm way repeatedly for the repeated queries which my colleague was asking. Over the period of time, he got tensed, though he answered in a light way, but in a different tone. My colleague started crying. This person is not respecting me, he was too harsh, or blah, 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 he was complaining to me. Then what happened? Then I came to know my senior was answering her in a light way only, but the way she listened to the answer which given by my colleague is in a different way. So she listened it in a different way, though my senior gave it in a proper.
Interesting take on the topic. So if there are no more volunteers, I shall call somebody. Toastmasters again. Toastmasters again, would you like to talk on a problem?
You will give me the problem?
Yes. Yes, stitch in time saves money. You okay with that?
Yeah. I'll spring something around it.
A stitch in time saves 9.
So can I take 30 seconds? Is that
yes.
Rule still on? No. Okay. I was telling my mother the other day, Amma, are you part of any community? Community because she's 61 now. You become part of the community because your retirement age, when you get to that, not just old people, but also young ones need to be part of a community, is my understanding. And I was asking her, are you part of any community? Would you like to go to ISKCON and just go there, blend in, or this place or that place? There is a Panduravan temple just nearby. Would you like to go there? And every December, if you for people who are aware of it, every December there is a festival that happens, and every morning in those 30 days, my uncle, who is now no more, would go back in there in the morning about 5:30 to 6:30, do bhajans, start singing. Nobody will be in tune. Very clear, nobody will be in tune, but everybody will be happy. So I was asking her, would you like to go to these places? Would you want to be part of those communities? Because you're not. And when you give up your job, there would be nothing that you would have to hang on to. I was asking her this, and today this is the same thing that I felt. I had no role to play. There was rain, it was going on. I didn't have to come. But I said, if I'm not here, who would be? The room could be sparse. There would be no one. Who would my fellow members listen to? Who would my fellow members, if they come here and then speak, there should be someone to listen. If I'm not here, who would be? So I thought, okay, even if I'm 10 minutes late, I'll come. and I came. The idea of being part of a community, when you put it early on in people's lives, a stitch in time saves nine. I was reading the book Ikigai, where they go to Japan and they talk about how these 100+ people who have lived happily, it's not about the age, but they've lived happily. They all say be part of a community early on in life. A stitch in time saves nine.
Thank you, Jagan, for giving us a very good take on that power. Everybody is very comfortable speaking on it. That's why I asked you if you're okay with speaking. So next I shall call DTM Thomas. DTM Thomas Abraham, plan for New Year's Eve. Plan for New Year's Eve, DTM Thomas.
Thank you very much, Modi. Sorry, TD Master. Yes, sir. Plan for the New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, not the other Eve. Friends, let's do it. New Year's Eve is how many days away? 20 days away. With a creative bunch of people like this, I don't want to mention people's name and then antagonize the others. Why can't we plan a New Year's Eve? Who would like to be TM Modi? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So would Secretary would you kindly note the name? TM Modi is Jagan. Because it is Jagan, you don't need to plan for the subject. You only have to plan for the event. So that's done. Subject not required. Who will be G? Somebody who can be. How about you for a G? Because you've never held a mirror on yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Agreed? Yeah. Thank you very much. Then what do we need? You already stand by, like a spare, anytime TD Master. But kindly give more easy topics next time. It's New Year's Eve. People would be in a different mood. I hope you can bring in some mirth and all that. So that's done. TD Master done. What is left? Speakers. Speakers? What would be the subject? Can we plan the topic? Can we plan the topic? What can it be on? New Year resolution is massive. Exactly. So something more real from the oil and gas industry. What did you suggest? That's what exactly you say. Whenever you start a new club, the topic is the new beginning. No, that's something little more. Jagan. No, the speaker. Speaker should be talking about a topic. We will decide. We are a democracy in a different way. We will decide. No? Data. New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. Data. How about enjoyment, joy, mirth? You select the topic, ma'am. You select the topic. This is my general idea. Is that settled? So what is left? Thank you.
That's why I chose you to give that topic. Now you know. That's all. Turn it around. Spun it around. Is there more time?
Yes.
No, is there any more time left? Is the timer? There is? Okay, 1 minute. Okay, please come. Yes, to Suresh. Okay. Speak about what you observed on your way here.
On my way here.
Yes. Are you okay with that?
Topic to the audience.
Okay. Understood. Speak what you observed when you were coming here today. Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone. So what did I observe on my way over here? Basically, I came from a college. I come by walk. So there's nothing much I can observe. So all I observed was on my way. I observed the flooded grounds, the cricket grounds in my college. But still, I saw many of my seniors playing the match over there. All of them are cricket enthusiasts. So I was wondering, why are you playing cricket right now? One of my seniors is like, come on, man, we'll enjoy this. How long? This is once in a lifetime, like once in a year that we get to play in this rain and mud and all. So it's like, no, dude, I got a place to go. And I came walking. But also the many places I went. This is a common thing. I see people older than me sitting on the streets. They're doing the selling fruits, and they're sitting on the footpath. I was like always wondering, okay, is there something I can like what's happening in our country? Is this how we are? Like the development of the nation should not be dependent on a single profession. Like it doesn't depend on the engineers for the development of a nation. It doesn't depend on the doctors for the development of our country's fitness or health. And again, on the way, like I compare most of our country's development with America or Germany and all. I saw our transport infrastructures, our railways, like compared it to the Japan's bullet trains or German's TGVs. Why can't we have any? Why can't we have those? Like, are we lacking some people? Are we lacking local pilots? Are we lacking engineers? I want to have better transportation system. I myself could personally enjoy my high-speed rails, and then proper footpath system. Like if you have anyone have walked on the Adaya Road, anyone have walked? If you have walked over there, there's no footpath. And also when I was one of the week, I think 2 weeks ago, I was walking to this place. I was walking and literally at that time, I could say to you that I'm stuck in traffic and I'm coming by walk. There's a rickshaw in front of me and a bike in back of me. It's like, no, man. Like literally, I'm a human. I don't have space to squeeze, man. So please, few minutes. So that is so. This is all what I observe. So the development of a country, we need more people to come forward. We need to educate them, like encourage them like this. Come on, like we need your help too, so that we can also make our country. We can also make our dreams come true.
Thank you very much. So that's the end of the table topic session. Thank you everyone for staying here for more than a minute, even up to 2.5 minutes. Excellent job. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, PT Master. Before we move on to listen to the incident in Tagore's life, may I request the timer to read out qualified speakers and table topics. Table, Toastmaster Sandhya is qualified. No. Okay, in table topic, qualified. Qualified. Please note down the qualified speakers and pass the vote. One night, Tagore was. I'll give you.
I counted it on the
Toastmasters Sandhya and Indian Political Fund, also all the table topics speakers are qualified. Toastmaster Kamra, Toastmaster Rakesh, Toastmaster Sakai, Toastmaster Yasmin, Indian Shaman, and
Thank you. We'll give few seconds for you to mark the best speakers. One night, Tagore was crossing River Yamuna in a boat. Under candlelight, he wished to write a poem. But somehow words could not flow that day. He tried and tried. Finally, he gave up and put off the candle. Immediately when the candlelight was put off, the moonlight filled the boat. The boat looked very beautiful. Tagore could experience the sense of beauty, and poetry began to flow out of his heart effortlessly. Like the candlelight that can conceal the moonlight, our petty ego can hide the vast happiness that our heart can feel. Neurological research indicates that our brain produces stress hormones cortisol during the tense moments of stories. Some amount of stress is needed. And cute incidents in stories releases oxytocin, the chemical that produces connections and empathy. A happy ending in a story triggers dopamine, which evokes hope and optimism. The imagined experience are processed in the brain as though they are real experience. So before I conclude my today's theme, let us listen to the constructive feedback of the speakers and the overall meeting. To conduct the evaluation session, I once again call upon the general evaluator, Toastmaster Prasanna.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Let us now go to the evaluation sections. We will initially have two evaluators evaluate the prepared speakers and then the tag report. For the first speech by Toastmaster Sandhya, I would call upon this evaluator. This week, I was going through Easy Speak, trying to find what roles I have done so that I could apply for the Rockstar Award. I found that one Medleyan had done the most number of roles, both in terms of quantity as well as variety. If there is an award for Rock Superstar, it should go to this Medleyan. That is our present VP and the President-elect of Medley, Toastmaster Dinakaran. I asked him what was his most inspiring story, and he said it is a story of how every mother brings up her child. He must be thinking it's some sort of a classical story, but as a mother of two, I can tell you it's nothing short of a horror story. I call upon Toastmaster Dinakaran to evaluate Toastmaster Sandhya's speech.
Thank you, Ji. I didn't know that I have done so many roles and so many varieties. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and then good evening, my target speaker, Toastmaster Sandhya. Sandhya has given the speech from the Pathways Dynamic Leadership. The project is Understanding the Leadership Skill. Before we go into the details of the project objectives, I would like to talk about her preparedness, right? Like when we have seen here, like all the new Toastmasters taking the oath of like, we will be committing to all the roles that we are doing. So we'll be well prepared and coming prepared to the meetings. But talking about Toastmaster Sandhya, she was the first person to register for the role player for the week. And also she was the first person to share all the details about the speech and then the speech objectives and everything. So kudos to Toastmaster Sandhya for the preparedness and the commitment to Toastmaster that we were doing. Next is that topic title 5SQ. When I seen it, I was like wondering what is this about, right? So the title itself has created some curiosity and some expectations. Kudos to Toastmaster Sandhya in setting the expectations even before starting the speech delivery. Now coming to the speech delivery quality. So clarity of the speech, right? So by the way that she has delivered, we all know that the effort that she has put in preparing the speech and the research she has done. So kudos to that for the clarity that you have brought to the speech. Next is the gestures. It was not like it was overwhelmed or undermined. It was the right gestures standing here. And then I was able to hook into the speech, get hooked into the speech. So it was the right gestures. That is great about the speech given by Toastmaster Sandhya. One thing I would like to call out is that eye contact, right? So it was like a smooth flow of the delivery of the speech, but I was not able to see that whether she was able to make contact with all the people in the room here. She was kind of like looking at this side and then giving the speech. Better that you can improve your eye contact and then just try to look at each of the people sitting here who create a better impact of the speech. That is one recommendation I would like to give to that. Next is that vocal variety. I have seen it like the flow of the speech was very nice. There have been some pauses, but the time that you are giving this pause would be a little more longer so that the effect is well received by the audience. And coming about the project objectives, the objective states that the speaker has to analyze all the leadership style and then talk about her leadership style. So there was a wonderful speech about all the qualities of the transformational leadership, well researched, well presented. Only suggestion that I can give is that some more example about your own experience of the leadership style would have added more impact to the speech. With that, it was a well delivered speech with the improvement suggested. We can go to the next level. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinakaran. For the speech by DTM Guru Prasad, I would call upon this evaluator. Ever since I joined Medley, which is almost like 1 year now, in all his introductions, people have been telling He's learning Spanish. So I asked him, can you tell a story in Spanish? And he said one of the most shortest story ever. It is just one line. I'll ask him to tell the Spanish version. I can tell the translation. I have a photo of me sleeping in my phone and I'm living alone. For further clarifications, you can ask Toastmaster Venkatesation. I call upon him to please evaluate DTM Guru Prasad's speech. Yeah, you read it, please.
Yo tengo una foto mía durmiendo en mi teléfono y yo vivo solo. Most of this you could understand. Most of this vivo solo. Yeah, I am also still learning. But Duolingo is the platform. Please don't count the time now. Duolingo is the platform through which I'm learning. If you want to learn any new language, it's a very good platform. Start with. Okay, we'll start the evaluation. Micro-past moment of me is how to use acronym in your speeches. I learned it from DTM Guru Prasad in the last few speeches. So I'll start with UAE. Unexpectedly expected opening. Rajinikanth gesture. With a single gesture, you could attract and capture audience attention from that moment. Your approach on that aspect is adorable. You showed your first SQS, successful quality secret, your passion towards Toastmaster speech to the minute details, how you want to deliver it. Using acronym, as I said, you have used the acronym PPP, RAG at the appropriate points to demonstrate what are the pillars of communication and how you need to undergo and evaluate them when you communicate with another person or a group or to a larger audience. So this will go as a takeaway for every one of us, at least for me, PPP and RAG, I will remember for a while, if not always. The third point which I like the most of UAE is engaging the audience. From the moment you started, every point and every sentences you were engaging with the audience through your eye contact. I was thinking I will give some improvement area because you are not moving, but you were engaging the audience with your eye contact. You are moving through all the audiences. So that was very good. So that showed that you are the better communicator and an able leader, and how you have developed it from your own personal life, how you started as a natural, how you adamant or how stubborn you were and how you learned communication style. As a sandwich, just with the bread won't taste good. It won't be neither delicious nor nutritious. So I want to add some cheese and tomato and lettuces. The first point is, when you used acronyms PPP and RAG, PPP as a pillar for communication style, communications, and RAG for people, I was expecting that there would be some acronyms for the other two components, premise and the other one. But I was expecting it, if it had been there, it means it would have been much better. The second point which I saw that since our theme of the day is storytelling, I was expecting that you would connect this PPP with your personal storytelling. That would have been a more impactful, as I said, it will stay for a longer time than for a while. It would have been a much better, impactful communication or the story, the lesson that we would have learned. Otherwise, a clean, perfect speech, even from the counter perspective, as expected. And I wish you to see more of our superstar through you in our Toastmaster journey. Happy Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesation. We will now enter the tag report. I call upon Toastmaster Nishana to kindly give the timer report.
So for the prepared speeches, we have speech 1, Toastmaster Sandhya, who took 6 minutes 49 seconds. And for speech 2, DTM Guru Prasad took 7 minutes and 27 seconds. For the evaluation speech 1, Toastmaster Dinakaran took 2 minutes 51 seconds, and speech 2, Toastmaster Venkateshan took 3 minutes and 18 seconds. For the table topics, Toastmaster Ranga took 1 minute and 9 seconds. Toastmaster Rajesh took 1 minute 26 seconds. Toastmaster Suhail took 1 minute 11 seconds. Toastmaster Jagan took 2 minutes 15 seconds. DTM Thomas took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Guest Suresh took 2 minutes 18 seconds. And Toastmaster Saravanan took 6 minutes 5 seconds. For the new member induction, Toastmaster Venkateshan took 3 minutes 5 seconds. And TM Moody for the initial introduction, Toastmaster Prada took 2 minutes 44 seconds, and GE Toastmaster Prasanna took 7 minutes 14 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nishana, for this detailed report. I now call upon our accountant, Toastmaster Wilson, kindly provide the accountant report.
Our counter skips. Today we had a lot of clean speeches. From the last Venkateshan, TM Venkateshan, DTM Thomas Abraham, Toastmaster Jagan, Toastmaster Renka, Toastmaster Guru Prasad, Toastmaster Sandhya, TM Prasanna. This is the clean speeches which I observed. So congratulations. Coming to the pillar words and sounds, Suresh had 2 1 so and 2 you know. TM Modi Pravada had 2 1 year and 2 so. And Anuradha had 1 Rajesh, TM Rajesh had 2 1 but and 1 you know. Suhail had 2 Dinakaran, Toastmaster Dinakaran had 2 so. That's all. That's the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wilson. I now call upon a grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Anuradha, to kindly provide the correct grammarian report. Once again, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. It's my report. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Renu for giving the word of the day as the table topic today. Thank you for that. And General Evaluator Prasanna, Toastmaster Sandhya, Toastmaster Guru Prasad, Toastmaster Rajesh, Toastmaster Venkateshan use the word of the day. Big round of applause to all of them. And coming to the words which I noticed, Toastmaster Sandhya used words like untiring passion, mastery in communication, methodology, anchor to faith, transformational leadership style. These are the words I found new to me. Then DTM Guru Prasad sir used explicit, inspirational, argumentative, and pillars for communication. And Toastmaster Pravda used the words like hostile, persuade, effortlessly, conceal, empathy, and optimism. Then Toastmaster Ranga used the phrase dreams come true. Then Toastmaster Jagan used ikigai. Then DTM Thomas sir used antagonist. And Toastmaster Dinakaran sir used commitment. And Toastmaster Venkateshan used my favorite word, microboss, and impactful communication. Thank you for that. And I'll end my report with the tip of the day. For me, I used to confuse when to use few, when to use less.
So professor will be knowing this. So we will, few is used with countable nouns like when you are telling like pen, pencil, chairs, like that. Example, I have few pencils. Toastmaster Sandhya will be knowing better about pencils. Then coming to the word less, less is used with uncountable nouns like water, space. For example, we have less space between the chairs, like that. So with this, I left my report over to G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anuradha. I was sitting there wondering if you have two cameras, one to take the photos and one to capture all these words. It was such a detailed report. Coming to the GE report, the positives, the room was set up by Toastmaster Ranga, I guess. He came in early and set up all these trophies and everything was set up, even the banner. Thank you, Toastmaster Ranga, for setting up the room. And I also want to thank DTM Guru Prasad sir for being the stand-in SAA despite having to give bad speech. That is a big stress handing on top of us, and despite that, he volunteered to be this. And all the tag players, two of them being the first-time role players, performed it really well. Kudos to you. Both the prepared speakers did full justice to their project pathways while also sharing their own personal experiences through those. The TT topics are well explained. The topics were easy and appropriate to the person who had to speak on those topics. And Toastmaster Renu also volunteered at the last minute today. And the guest, Mr. Suresh, gave an excellent speech, and I could see his passion overflowing throughout his speech. Coming to the points of improvement, at 2:45, only 8 members were present in this room. The essay, I don't know if it was a last minute delay or I wasn't aware. These essay dropouts could be avoided. And there was a 2-minute delay in starting the meeting. The word of the day could be more challenging. Adore is a beautiful word which could be used widely. But we would like to learn words which we normally don't use, but would have a greater impact when used. So a little more challenging word of the day could be considered. And all the role players who come on podium, it would be better if we start and leave with a handshake. The podium should never be left unmanned. Please try to stay back till somebody comes and takes over the podium and leave with a handshake. And we can also avoid crossing over on the stage. We can plan some way so that we don't cross over when we do the handshake and move back. And considering that we have ample time, the TT session could have been extended, even including the role players also. These are my points. Thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, G. Few seconds to mark your best evaluator and tag players. Being in academics for more than 15 years, one great challenge that I faced in recent days is to impart morals to my students who are in the sensitive age of late teens and early 20s. They're in social media and they always think that they know better than us, including my daughters. They're highly resistant to advices. I only tell them, you decide whether you want to be a seed or a bino. A seed is a jalladai that leaves all the good things and holds only the waste materials. Whereas a bino the moram, will discard all the waste and retain all the good grains. I believe that stories have the power to create social change and inspire community. All these stories that I narrated today are from a book, Manase Relax Please, Part 1 by Swami Sugabodhananda. I hope many of you would have read this book. The highlight of this book is that the author gives insights of different perspectives of life in the form of short, simple, interesting, but powerful stories. And this one book taught great morality and value of life in my early days. So I took this opportunity as a TMOD to share with you all about this book. Those who have not read this book, I strongly recommend. It is available in many of the Indian languages to read this book and experience the great and have the great experience. Thank you, and I hand over the podium to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pravda. Please give a big round of applause for it. When life throws a lemon, what do? Make it a lemonade, right? Likewise, in Medley meetings also, when there is time, what we normally do? Yeah, surprise session. Please put your hands to welcome DTM Guru Prasad for the surprise session.
Well, disclaimer, I am not conducting the surprise session. I'm here to coordinate a surprise session. And the person who is going to conduct the surprise session, it's a surprise for him as well. How many of you know the meaning of the word tete-a-tete? I don't know whether it's the right way to pronounce it. Tete-a-tete. It's called a communication between two people directly. It's going to be a public tete-a-tete, where you'll be watching two people talking with each other. I'd like to invite a person for tete-a-tete, Thomas Abraham. We fondly call you as Professor in Medley because we really adore your command on the English language. That's all this session is about. We need to expose ourselves to the camera. I hope, in spite of being experienced people, mature people, etc., at least myself, I believe some of you also still feel a bit jittery and goosebumps when we are about to deliver a speech in English, for obvious reasons. Because we don't belong to the native English speaking community. So we always have a problem in communicating in another language. So I have a few questions and we would like to learn from you on how to, if not master, at least be fluent in that. Before doing that, let's go a bit of an interview between you and me. I believe your household or family language is not English. It's Malayalam, correct?
It's English.
It's English. Okay.
Born a Malayali. Became an English-speaking person, English-thinking person.
No, I am talking about your family.
Malu.
That's what. Yeah. So you're with us. So we are not. You are also not a native English speaker. That was my question.
In my home, they used to speak Malayalam. Where I was born, they used to speak Hindi.
Well, so I needed this information for my main session. Before that, we would like to hear from you your first ever public speaking experience, that too especially in English, in your life. Maybe you could get when you were a kid.
I can tell you straight away my first public speaking experience, language immaterial. That was when I was in the 7th standard. I was 12, thereabout. 5-year plan. Those days it was very famous. In school, that was a favorite topic. 5-year plan. I prepared like I could prepare here. I went there. It was a school auditorium. I don't know what happened. All I could see after a few seconds was darkness. Darkness with a tinge of redness. I don't know whether it was the blood rushing out. Doctors can answer it. Whether it was causing like that. And I went numb, but then I somehow lasted like it.
Oh, so you also had a similar experience like most of us. Now, I have 3 questions with respect to managing the language. The first thing what I see is, even though I'm delivering a speech in English, I think in Tamil, or particularly, I'm a mix between Tamil and Kannada. So I don't even know which language I basically think before collating my thoughts. The problem happens when we are transferring, particularly in impromptu sessions. Scripting is different. Our first question to you is, what is your advice on managing this transition between thinking in one language and delivering in another language?
Absolutely, thank you. I don't think one can think in one language and deliver with facility and without drag in the other language. I can tell you this, I think more important than theory is what I did. Early in life, I realized when I was in Kerala, though we didn't have TV and things like that, that there is a world beyond. So I convinced 6 of my hostel mates that we will only speak in English. So we made a like a pledge. We posted it on the notice board saying that we 6 will only speak in English. And they made such fun of us. You Firangi, the foreigner, all that. Who cared? Who cared? When we came out, I think all of us must have done better. The only way is you have to produce here and deliver it in both in the same language is my understanding. I've not studied on neurology, but this is my understanding.
But still, as of today, when you deliver an impromptu speech or a meeting, do you think in Malayalam or do you think in English?
I left Malayalam. I love Malayalam. I used to write in poems in Malayalam. I'm a first class BSc Malayalam, but I've lost it. I feel bad. I think in English. Really.
No, only in situations where English is demanded.
No. My mind speaks in English. It wasn't so. I did it deliberately, right or wrong.
That's the point where I'm still confused. How did that transformation happen?
Like I said, I had to do it. I wanted to do it. Then I was not in Kerala. I was in Bombay, Bangalore. I was not there at all. So I learned Hindi, but my basic language of thinking, my mind's language became Hindi, English.
Because you're more exposed to a non-mother tongue community.
Also, my wife was born and brought up in Bombay. So that was her language. Both my kids. See, then we became a community of English-speaking people. Straightforward.
Then what is your advice for us? We don't get that opportunity. We still live with the normal community where we have multilingual people around us. How do you want us to?
I am part of a normal community that happens to speak English. Okay. The answer is this. A lot of people who come to me to ask. I tell them, but basically I say, speak in English. There's no way. How do you learn swimming?
By jumping into the pool.
Not from any textbook like you read, ma'am, today. No. That's the answer. Frankly. And of course, if you want to go to the next level, I say that to students, listen to TV. Listen to TV. If you know the Tamil story, read it in English. Then you can see, constitution. You will get equivalent words. That works.
So in Parliament, a main question is proposed, and the members are allowed to ask sub-questions. So on this point, I open the forum. On this point of translating between languages alone, anybody has any additional question to DTM Thomas?
My question is a deliberate practice, as you said. You cannot swim, so you practice it, but you won't be at par with the natural language.
Of course.
You are thinking and you are delivering subjects to improve than what we are. I think you do have a better delivery than me or anybody else. So it's more of a practice, how much practice you do.
So it's, go ahead.
The words and the formation and understand for the diction, with reduced pronunciation. How do you work on that?
Yeah. Again, I have to be honest, it may sound otherwise. It's very normal to do. See, the job I was in communication. I was the voice for my company. I just had to be the best. Writing, speaking, I had to be the best. Voice that I give. So I use 360-degree communication. I had the privilege of going through, doing every bit. So it could not have been any other way. Of course, I learned Hindi, that helped me, but I didn't learn humor. It was not required. Somehow, when I think about myself as a package, that's one area I learned. Secondly, again, I'll tell you, my gestures are not the most refined. I know it was not required. I was mostly the voice, right? So I realized you can trace it back. What you need, you get. So, yeah, go ahead.
To answer the third question, just one thing is that thinking in their native tongue, the emotion that there is, that comes out as rage. That comes out as the way that you express, where do you pause. You don't need to. I personally do not work on how do I increase my pitch on. That's what I'm experiencing. But that's what I'm experiencing. I have to whisper. It comes because the more I write, the more it goes to my mentor. I understand, okay, it becomes internal. The words become more honest after I get it to my head. Because that's what I'm actually feeling. If that's what I'm actually feeling, that's how it will get delivered on stage. Without any add-ons for vocal ready or body.
Again, thank you very much. You come up with the right point. I would have said that. By the way, there's a terminology I patented. Don't use it in your evaluation contest. I say, give sovereignty to your sound. You only have to be true to your emotion. What your heart feels, your sound should support it. Without, like you said, no, interventions, no coloring. Sandhya does that. Toastmaster Sandhya, have you noticed how she stops? I don't think she's planning everything. No, it's normal. It becomes a normal way to speak. Right?
So on this point number one, I understand two things I learned from him. One is a determination that he decided we're going to speak in English. Second is exposure. But he was surrounded with people who was. I'll tell you an exact example. In Tamil, we just come and say, Varingla. But the exact equivalent in English is, are you coming? But we don't do that. Coming? Have you noticed? We many times come coming. There is no such word called coming. English does not allow you. It needs a verb in the beginning. Are you coming? Because coming is not a verb in this sentence. So that's a mistake we made when we think and immediately convert it to English. That's why I want to know from you. So the more you get exposed. So I was working with a few people from Europe and US and some of these Saudis who were educated in either Europe or US. So then I was able to observe when I was living with them for a period of 2 to 3 months, slowly I started getting some of their slangs, words like fair enough. I had never used that word before going to Saudi. I didn't even know what it means. Now I use the word very frequently. Whenever there's a communication, you respond by saying fair enough, listen to me something. So I believe. Second is grammar. So we were taught English grammar, at least with all respect to my teachers. I was taught English grammar as a subject and not as a language. This is a problem we all face. And sometimes I make known mistakes while I'm delivering, after delivering the sentence, I think, my God. Today I used a word called premise. That was not in the context of what I want to say. Premise is something different, and how I use premise is totally different. Then in a hurry, today my speech delivery, offline I'll tell you, it was an arrogant preparation. So that's a separate story. Then I checked in the word web and it says premise has completely. I thought premises and premise are related words. And I just, because I want to maintain the PPP, I forced the premise into it. It was a mistake. So with respect to grammar, I don't think a Renan Martin is going to make me grammar expert. How do you want us to?
Very practically answer you. First of all, verb. There are only 9 types of verbs. You make a column like this, right? That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I don't remember the terminology now. You know what it is. Past, present, future. We have past, participative. I don't remember the names. You know what it is. Has been. That's all there is, the variety. Once you know that, just any Google, you will see that table in PP, what do you call, as a PDF, you get it. That's one. Second thing is, for me, how it sounds tells me what is right. It will work for you also. Because what happens at some subliminal, subconscious level, you are recalling what you have heard. I only hope you are in such company that most of what you heard is correct. So it will come correct. I mean, I don't see grammar as something to be taught like cricket or something. No, it's my.
Yeah, we are not able to forcibly learn grammar.
No, but if you kindly do this table, no, more than 50% of the mistake we make is taken care of. Then there are a few more. Plural and singular. I know one of my best friends, typical, right? Had that is conceptual. One of my chonna, more than one. So friend, it has to be friends. Those a few such things. Then what I am able to is duplicate. You know that, no? How do you say that? I can able to.
My next question.
I know. Those are, I keep saying this wherever new club I go, I throw these as tips, like you did today. Yours is also right, few and less. These are basic. One by one we learn. Therefore, if you want me the right answer, I'm sure I'll get an approval from President. Attend as many meetings as possible.
And also I have seen people delivering good grammar speeches using simple language sentences. I would need to quote one person, but only for the purpose of this. It may be your beliefs may be different. He's what they call a Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudeva. I don't know how many of you have heard his English.
Yeah,
he never uses complicated words like Shashi Tharoor and all. He delivers his message using even a primary school or a high school student can simply understand. He delivers it in such a simple language. Say, Sandhya, you had the question.
This is of the singular plural. Prepositions are extremely confusing when we write this script.
Like, give me one example.
On or in the city, on the city. Where do we learn this? What is the right way to get this preposition?
My honest answer is, if you get a good teacher, honestly, if you look back to your interests, each of us, and why, which subject it can be traced to, a teacher that influenced you. This is the best way you can learn is from a teacher. It becomes instinct. Like I said, Carl, it doesn't fit for me. And it is not logic. This in and on is not based on logic. It's only through practice. I don't have another way.
One thing that I'm doing it for myself is I listen to a lot. Listen to good English speakers where all these prepositions become part of my cycle. If I say thus makes, it's wrong. Thus make or he makes. If thus and makes do not come together. There are words to this. ING words, or I don't know what they technically call that as. But as I said, when it sounds to our ears, no, this is wrong.
Exactly.
How does that come for me? Whenever I text somebody, no grammatical, no shortcuts, no SMS label. Even my mentor would know that my Word documents will never have underlines or spelling mistakes. Everything has to be neat, perfect. So because of that, I read it again and again. I go back to my emails, I read it again and again, because everything would have perfect grammar. So when somebody uses it otherwise, no, this is not correct. So it becomes a second
nature. Exactly. Also, by the way, Word document shows you where there are mistakes, but we don't have the time for it, right? Seriously.
But okay, Word document shows literal mistakes. I had an interesting situation with my client where we were arguing about usage of shall and will, because shall means more money for me in the contract, in the project contract. Will means shall means less money for me, will means you have to pay extra for me in the sentence. The software shall provide this feature means for the given money, I should make the software automatically deliver all that stuff.
No compromise.
The software will provide means you are asking for it, but it was not part of the original agreement. I may or may not give. If you want this extra feature, you pay me extra. We had fierce arguments about changing the word in my design document. Of course, IT guys will know, but using the word shall and will because it meant money. A grammar pays you or it takes away money from you. That's why I'm more worried about even during calls when the meeting minutes were made. Meeting minutes used to go for 4 or 5 rounds of review. People used to object. This is not what we agreed upon. They'll ask us to change certain words here. That's why I'm more worried about maintaining a clear grammar.
Only thing is, legalese has its own grammar. Legalese is not part of normal English. Seriously. Yeah. That's like this is the verge. What he said, shall and will, the legalese is coming in now. Because there's money. Normal English doesn't have money. So,
but the problem is this point number 1 and 2, the challenges I have in the language creates an issue when I say something in a meeting and it becomes because the meeting is legal, But my knowledge is not illegal, more informal. Sorry, Ranga.
So shall and should. There is a sense of finality. It is thematic. Will and want. You can sort of just squeeze your brain.
Because, yeah.
This is something also could. So generally when we suggest, this happened while doing evaluations, I refrain myself from using the word should, because it's very adamant, it's arrogant.
Yes.
We always use the word could. You could do this, you could do it. And when we ask for something, could you please do this? Should you please do this? We do not do. That comes from authority. So this part I learned. I searched as to how do I present myself to if I'm requesting something. How do I do it?
In that could also, you could do that. You could consider. You're using that of you could consider. You may please consider. You could do. I'm saying it comes from here. The actual meaning comes from here.
Of course, at the end of the session, I have a proposal. I'll tell that at the end. Sorry, Nishana, I had a question. I hate Grammarly.
May I say something now, sir? May I say something now? For all the prospective speakers who are not finding the time to do it, today I saw a version. I don't have the details. I can get it for you. If you give a requirement, I want a speech about something, you will have it ready without any grammatical mistake. Today I saw a product, because a news item somebody was creating, said inauguration of something, the chief guest so and so spoke. Date and all. That's all was given, but it came out like a neat speech, a neat piece, which the content writer cannot produce. So we are all under threat.
Now, that is on a lighter note that I hate Grammarly. Whenever I open YouTube eager to watch a video, it doesn't allow me to watch the video. Suddenly one lady comes up, do you make mistakes when you're speaking in English? There is a Grammarly. It takes 12 seconds and there is no button to skip. I have to listen to 19 seconds of her verbatim. Sorry, you had a question. Hold on for a moment. That's my third question. We have covered language transformation happening in the mind, grammar. Third is playing. No, I'm not talking about playing with words like Shashi Tharoor or yourself. Even in a no, you sorry. No, I'm not comparing. But when you give a speech and when I give a speech, the distinct difference is the choice of words. But you use some special words because of your command over language. I use
command? What is command over language? It's like command over.
The answer to your first and second question is a command over language.
My submission, honestly.
No, that's what I don't want to learn from you.
I don't need to do any mock modesty here. I'm saying this to you. My job forced me to use the correct word. I would have been thrown out of this, right? Because it's the voice of my company. So I think that's the only thing. And one thing, when I joined Toastmasters, Medley, I went up to division level within like 4 months. Then Satish Solomon said, all right, reduce your intensity of your language. They came to Vellore. I can't because I cannot use the wrong word. May I just allow them as part of my presentation on the topic? You say, I must give you this. Based on the demography, I have a caveat. Based on the demography, I have a caveat. Without using the word demography and caveat, we don't know those two words, or they are banned like religion, sex, and whatever. How will you say that? Can you consider that? Without, what did I say?
Demography and caveat.
No. Apply the demography, but with a caveat. Apply the demography, but with a caveat.
Basic details.
I'm saying, okay, let's say this audience, okay? Describe the demography, but with a caveat.
Caveat generally means limitation.
Caveat means that context, exactly. Yes, it's a legal term. Correct.
I have read it on newspapers, that's why I was caveat. I've used it, but people didn't understand.
Yeah, but demography. Suppose you're not banned, you're not allowed to use the word demography. Let us understand the demography of this group.
The basic detail of
details, age, sex, socio, all this is contained in that one little word. Therefore, use that. If people don't know, teach them. No, that's a whole thing about vocabulary. Like we already see, should and would and could. All of them are, nuances are different. Like ladies have their dresses, different shades of red. You and I have only one black. I'm telling you, that nuances. That's it.
Any more questions on vocabulary?
Yes,
You say the metaphors and alliterations make the language beautiful. But at some point, you say it's more of rhetoric. How do you balance?
Absolutely. I mean, see, it's a coincidence that both of you are seated together. I still remember, see, this is what you will remember. I still remember your trees bearing fruit and lying low or something. Remember that? You talked something about the scaffolding, 2-3 things you brought together. Then I commented to you that you brought the rhetoric. You brought metaphor. Metaphors are, they are heavy with the best of fruits. There's nothing like metaphors.
Prasanna, that's why I hate pathways. In the conventional model, old school model, there was a project called CC3. In Computer and Communicator Manual, you have a CC3 where you have to deliver a speech with wordplay using metaphors, similes, examples, all that stuff. And I was thrashed in my CC because I used only one metaphor or something. The evaluator was the then president of the club, Nagasami. He said he did not even read the objectives of the project, he delivered a speech. He said you're supposed to show your skills on the language and apply it across your entire normal speech. So it could be a small speech of saying that I was walking a long way. I should have said it was as if I was walking in the Chennai-Bombay highway, just reached the sweet shop. He quoted a couple of examples. He said, this is where you transform from a normal person into a public speaker. These are very effective tools. I forgot the name of the exact project. How to say it. How to say it is the name of the project CC3. That's where we start. So
I just wanted to add one more, and I forgot that. Honestly, I forgot that. I did my MA in English. Then I picked up a different body of everything. Like Jevin, his reading is unlike anybody else his age. So naturally, you will capture it. You read this book today, right? You got all this. It's all about internalizing what you read. What you read, internalize. It's yours. No copyright. Seriously.
Unfortunately, most of our IT professionals today are working with Americans. With all respect, I'm talking about Americans on a day-to-day basis. I find it, we think Americans speak English. They speak a Madras language kind of in English. I hope you agree. For example, I'm very much against the word guys, G-Y-S. I told this very many times to many people. It's a very informal word to be told with your peers or juniors. Then you go into a meeting with senior people, both by age, authority, or power, sitting there and say, hi folks, hi guys, it doesn't apply. But
my candidate, awesome. Hey, you had your breakfast? Oh, yes, I had. Awesome. Come on, Toastmasters, this is number 1. Tell me. So all of us have this. I'm just saying, I'm not defending the Americans.
So, okay, we are reaching the end. Thank you. Before I thank D.M. Thomas, I have one request to President. We'll conduct one session in a meeting where a Toastmaster will come here to get ready and prepare a 1-minute speech. 1-minute speech. On the stage, he will connect with the professor or some senior Toastmaster with good language power. They will discuss the objective. He will come with an idea of his speech. They will script the speech right before us on the stage during a period of 10 minutes and convert it into his thoughts into a speech.
I'm not looking for stage time. No, please. There's one thing I have, which is how to edit. 270 words, you can reduce it once you have done that. That will be useful for this group. I don't think mentors have the time to, give it in that sense. The science.
I'm talking about the real workshop.
But I'm saying, I'm fine with you, but I'm kindly consider it might work. I'll discuss that.
I hope the session was really useful to you. Thank you very much. On.500. Thank you.
Thank you for the impromptu treat. And definitely we'll consider from the expert perspective, but we also have to look at the attendance also. Because they should not think like, okay, this is going to be a grammatical class and we need a lot of attendance. Well, in this meeting today, okay, I observed two things. One is during Toastmaster Pravda's introduction of Prasanamani, so what she mentioned, when she was missing a class, when she was taking a leave, that was the exact word she used when she was taking leave. That's the kind of attitude we have to have. When we are not coming to Toastmasters, it should be like we are taking a leave. Okay? I like that very much. I don't know whether it is a slip of the tongue or not, but it was very well received. I would say like many of the people would agree as well. Okay, and that's the kind of message we have to pass on to the others also, saying that if you are coming for something, not coming for a session, we are losing a lot. Okay, I listened to that word from Nishana also. She mentioned like, I mean, she has not come for a session and she's losing something. That's the kind of attitude we should be having. Yeah, VPN. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so there is an attendance also over there, so they can mention that whether they want to come for a session or not, so that we will know. Because when we use Easy Speak effectively, then all the MOM, everything can be taken from Easy Speak itself directly. So that's the kind of value add that Easy Speak can bring in. Okay. Then the second thing I would like to, what I observed during the TT speech, Toastmaster Renu mentioned about the Eve, right? The New Year Eve. So if we can have something like Christmas Eve, then we can fill up those roles also. Okay, maybe the next Toastmaster or the TT master can talk about that, so we can get the future roles as well.
I opted for the game mode at Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I know. So we don't have to ask now. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I mean, you will be like the queen bee to pull all the people. Right. Fine. Now, like, we will. Sorry, you were about to say something. Yeah, definitely. When the incoming president is there. Yeah, right. Okay, fine. Yeah, we can try that. Yeah, definitely. Then, so let us hear from the guest. Can you come over here and let us know your feedback on today's session?
Yeah, so the feedback that I'd like to give is to point out at the end of the session, because we were discussing about a lot of the grammatical corrections that we are making, because in school, because English was one of the easiest subjects in school there. So I was like, okay, we have mastered this language, so we don't have any problem in communicating it. But when you come over here, I found all the differences between like shall and will. I thought these two are synonyms, that we can use it. Like, it doesn't matter if I shall do this or I will do this, because it's totally because when they discuss, I found it, okay, this is what it means. So I thought I mastered that. I mastered English, because when I started my school, English was one of the hard. It was very difficult for me to communicate. But once I learned it, I did not concentrate mainly on the similar words. Like, although they have different meanings, I do not much care about what they differ in. So over here, you open me to that the minute differences over there, which we need to take care of.
And I would like to hand over this certificate recognition to Toastmaster Jagan for completing his level 3. Then we have to provide these ribbons to the best performers for today. The best tag player goes to, I have to take a micro pause, I guess. Toastmaster Anuradha. The best TT speech goes to a person who is a mechanical engineer and who works in Adore. Actually, when you came last time, I was mentioning about thermodynamics, and after that, you didn't come for 2 days, two meetings. So I was thinking, like, okay.
Yeah, apologies for that because I got out of classes.
Okay, fine. So that is not because of thermodynamics, right? So I was making a mental note not to talk about mechanical engineering, about thermodynamics.
If you're interested, I can make a speech on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Exactly. BPM is noticing everything. Yeah, right. Okay. So the best evaluator goes to the person who speaks in Spanish. I don't know how to tell best evaluator in Spanish, but I can give you this. One cardinal rule: don't read the ribbons. The best speaker goes to a person who spoke about 5 SQs. This is yeah, that's why I told already. Yeah, I told already not to read.
Should I read it?
Yeah, no, you have taken, right? Okay, fine. Then you read this clause. The best role player goes to the GE Toastmaster person award. It's also an advance story. With this, we have come to the end of today's meeting, and with the sound of this gavel, I declare meeting closed.